You can do that over there. Alright, it's Tuesday the 25th.
No,
Tuesday the 25th of January. You might not have seen this cushion before. So this is the cushion that it all comes out into a blanket that you can wear. So this is...
Can't put it out?
No, I can't be bothered to do that.
Aww,
so this is the blanket I would have been wearing a couple of weeks ago, last week, when I was freezing cold in the Cotswolds. But obviously that was when unknowingly I was messing up the battery by letting the motorhome get freezing cold. So where we are today is we needed to empty the toilet, so we've come to our favourite lovely campsite, Avon Bank Meadow. I'm just on the outskirts of Pershore near Piddle, which is a funny name. When we come here, it's a bit of a maintenance man reset. We obviously empty the toilet, we plug in the electric, we do we normally do the washing up, but I might save the washing up and do it here because we've got running water here, so it's all a bit easier. So we have an on-grid sesh, but we still have to use, there's no facilities here for shower or washroom or bathroom or toilets or anything like that. We still will use that all on board, but there obviously there's power, there's running water, and there's a toilet disposal area. So we do all of that, and we also do it as a bit of a treat. The one treat thing that is completely unnecessary that we didn't need, but when I became single again, I wanted to buy to rekindle my youth, was a PlayStation. So we also kept the PlayStation in here, which it runs off the leisure battery through the inverter if we want to do that occasionally. But we rarely get it out. It is just a treat, and I think that's the way these sorts of things should be. There's nothing wrong with them at all.
My dad is getting very good at on one of the things when we were doing PvP. I killed him 10 times, he killed me twice.
Yeah, that was a bit...
I got a very good gun.
I think Arthur basically found a hack and cheated.
I did not! I swear on my life I did not.
No, I know. So we basically... Yeah, Arthur's been sort of... I forget if we've said this on the video, but for this year... I'm sure I've shown this in previous videos, but I'm not doing anything to do with that. So I came up with this booklet, so I designed it in Google Slides. So it's called Arthur and Daddy Adventures 2024. He got this for his Christmas, his birthday and Christmas 2023, which just happened. And inside there's a page, so Arthur can choose any page, but just one page per month. Almost all of it is actual experiences, but a couple of months ago I saw that Starling Bank, who are an ethical bank and a challenger bank, so really good. Well, they challenge the bigger banks who maybe aren't so good. So Starling, I saw they do a children's account. So one of the pages is, you can choose, it's called Starling Kite. So Arthur could choose that, and he chose that for January. So we've been having fun getting him set up. He's got his bank debit card. We went to the cash point. Took some money out of the cash point for the first time ever. Did it today. We've been setting up his account.
My dad's gonna put £20 in it so we can
I've already done that.
We can go out for food.
And Arthur tomorrow is gonna pay for his first meal. So he's gonna take me and him out for breakfast at the really lovely Greek coffee shop in Pershore. So Arthur will get to pay by contactless, and it's all good experiences, and we're using it to educate about money and about data security and about financial security and about criminals and all this sort of stuff. So it's all good educational type stuff. Arthur can be streetwise, basically. That's all good. The only thing we need to get a better phone for Arthur because the Starling app won't work, but that'll be something else. That'll be something else to do, and then Arthur can learn about checking transactions and payments in and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, got the blinds up here, not for any reason other than I suppose this campsite is sort of out the way anyway. We're parked right next to a big hedge. We're on gravel, hard standing. It's a lovely spot. The River Avon is just a few metres in front of the motorhome. There's permanent mooring, so people live on barges just along the Avon there as well. John and Lisa live on their double-decker barge, which is pretty awesome. They run the campsite. They're both really lovely. So I suppose the blinds are open just because I don't feel the need to put them down. It's still pitch black. Do you think you've noticed it getting lighter earlier or lighter for longer?
Lighter.
No, I haven't. I haven't noticed it again. But the actual temperature of the weather has definitely improved. It's still been really windy. It's not windy today, but
Please
it's
don't
definitely
remind me.
it's definitely been getting warmer. Although I'm still booked in to go and see Dan on Sunday to fix the electric heater, which is totally broken now. 2 trips ago, when we were with my sister for her birthday and Arthur's birthday trip to Wake the Tiger and then Tredegar campsite, and then we found a new spot on the coast which isn't very far, which is it's less than 2 hours, I think, so we've got to remember that next time. It's a much quicker trip than Oxwich Bay, but it's still on the South Welsh coast. So then when we were plugged in at Tredegar, which is a caravan and motorhome club site and also a National Trust property, the heater was working for half of the time, and then it just didn't seem to get warm. When Arthur and I were plugged in somewhere, I can't remember where we were, but I think we were parked at another campsite north of Pershore, Wallsgrove Farm, which is about £16 per night. Where we are tonight is £20 per night. We're at Wallsgrove Farm. I think the fire didn't come on at all, and I just tried it earlier on. It didn't come on at all. So yeah, that was the main reason to go and see Dan recently. But luckily, I was seeing him at the same time as realising everything was kicking off with the leisure battery being too cold. So, but that wouldn't be a problem if you were always plugged in, because if you get a self-heating lithium-ion battery, that will self-heat when it gets down to 5 degrees C, as long as there's an external charge coming into the battery of at least 4 amps, which is exactly what you have at a campsite. So the reason it didn't work for me was because the only external charge is when I turn on the engine. I didn't know about that, so and the battery got way too cold, so then the self-heating doesn't actually work at all. You have to literally bring the temperature of the battery, the environment around the battery, up for then the self-heating to kick in at 5 degrees C. But my thought was, if I had a second battery, that second battery could feed into that first battery basically. So it maybe if 2 batteries were connected, once you get down to 5 degrees C, if you had it set up in some way where one battery feeds into another, then that might be it. I don't know, but I'm pretty comfortable with the work that Dan's going to do, running a heater pipe into the battery, so at least there could be heating going into the battery. And tomorrow night I'm going to try out staying at this new plot, just on the way to Evesham. Quite excited about that. That should be good. I'm going to stay there for a couple of nights while Arthur's with his mum, just to try it out, and then Arthur and I will give it a bash, which could be good. I think I don't know if you like staying there. Would you want to be there every night? The place that we're gonna try out. I'm not saying the guy's name on here just because in case we post this on YouTube, you might not want me to talk about it. But I mean, I'm sort of thinking if we like it there, then maybe we stay there for 3 nights in the weeks that you're at school, and then the other nights we still go and have our adventures around in the wild around Pershore. I don't know. What would you like to do?
Stay around Pershore.
Yeah. Well, we can mix it up, can't we? Because the good thing staying here, and the good thing staying at this plot, is it will be a lot quieter. And I'm thinking of my sleep and all that sort of stuff. So we'll try it out. I mean, the good thing is it's flexible, isn't it? That's the beauty, isn't it? We either could stay there for the whole week, not the weekend, because we'll still be off adventuring at the weekend, but it's just on school nights. We can choose. We can be there all week, or we can be there none of the week. That's the beauty of it. Because I was sort of feeling a bit trapped again. But then I thought to myself, well, I'm not trapped at all. Our home is still mobile. If we want to go elsewhere, we just go elsewhere, ultimately. So that's the beauty of the flexibility. Whereas if we were to buy a house, we would have to spend a heck of a lot of money on getting the house and then paying off the mortgage, and there'd be a feeling like we do have to go back there more often. Whereas with this, much more flexible. So it's getting on for 8 o'clock now, and this is a Thursday, so it's our last evening together for a week. So yeah, we always like to read together, and we haven't got to do any qigong today, have we? We'll miss that out. I'll keep it up. But what else was I gonna say? Yeah, the other thing we tend to save for the days when we're plugged in at a campsite is stuff that's going to need more washing when we create more washing up. Although we didn't quite do that today because we had a treat breakfast and we had bacon sandwiches for breakfast and fried eggs. So that was pretty cool. But normally we would do pancake Fridays with bacon, might do chopped up potatoes in the oven. So we're going to get an oven tray that's got oil and caked on fat and all that stuff. So yeah, we generally save more intense cooking to when we're plugged in because it's easier to wash up. We can go and get a top up of water and it's all a lot easier. But that said, if when we're out in the wild and we create more washing up than normal or pans that need a bit of scrubbing, what I do is fill up the bucket with water from the cleanest water we can find, put everything in the bucket of water and leave it to soak. I'm still then going to separately wash it all up with soap, washing up liquid, and rinse it off. But at least leaving it in whatever water is going to help to soak the dirt and the food that's caked on. So that's the tip. I have to say that bucket is well handy. I think you wanted it to play with on the beach originally.
Oh yeah, bye bucket.
Yeah, bye bucket. And then I think I maybe got it because there's been a couple of times when you've got physically vomiting sick. And just thinking of practicalities, like we're going to get ill at some point in the motorhome, and the bucket's super easy. It's good for getting water to wash up, it's good for getting wild water to fill up the lifesaver jerry can, it's good for messing about. Arthur calls it bye bucket when we go to the seaside and he puts it on waves and he tries to get it to stand up and not fall over. And then we build epic sandcastles with it. It's this builder's bucket, but also it's super practical. If we were literally going to be sick in here, we could quickly get the bucket and be sick in the bucket. It's nice tall sides and it'd be much easier to deal with. Whereas if we were sick on our bag or on cushions, it's going to be really awkward to clean up in here. So it's about trying to get ahead of problems, and that bucket's really, really simple. I was thinking if we were to build our own motorhome, for the sink, it could just be a hole in the top where you put in the bucket, and then you can still take out that bucket and use it. It doesn't need to be anything trick, does it? The other thing I was thinking of is for the draining board, I'd put above the bucket or above the sink would be the drainer, so it drains into the sink. You don't need a separate drainer. It'd be thinking creatively about it. And we're off to the Caravan and Motorhome show at the NEC with Steve and Debs in Feb, so that would be good for some ideas. And who knows, I'm hoping there might be roller team motorhomes there that we can have a look in.
Roller team.
Yeah, Dan, most modern motorhomes don't have a lot of space, but Dan was saying roller team is because he works on motorhomes for his job, for his business, and he was saying if he's thought about buying a roller team. Well, they're properly set up. They're touring around Europe and all this sort of stuff, and they've got bunk beds at the back and they're 6 berth and they've still got a bed above the cab. They're properly set up for living in, so I'd be quite keen to have a look at a roller team motorhome, because that could be something else we do. If at the end of the year, because we said we'll give it a year living in the motorhome this year, and if at the end of this year we want to keep living in the motorhome, then we can maybe, I don't know, buy a new one, buy a newer one, or build one, or whatever.
Why don't we keep this one?
Well, we could do. We don't have to do anything different, but we might want something different, mightn't we? The thing is, this is old and it's not designed to live in,
I know,
and it goes wrong a lot.
I love this one.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't change something, even if you've loved something. So, anyway, all that, the future doesn't exist; it's just ideas. So that might be something we do to make it a bit more permanent. Whereas at the moment, well, it is permanent still, isn't it? But I suppose we're deciding if this is the life we want long term at the moment.
Yes.
I love that. We'll see, but we can be flexible, can't we? I think that's it for this one. I'm going to get on because I want to read a book before 8 o'clock. Thank you.